I'm with Circuit Judge Martha Williams. Judge, thanks for having me in your chambers today. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
The reason I'm here, as you know, is you're a freshly qualified candidate for re-election. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've been going around trying to find officials that are running, and I ask them 3 simple questions, and if it's okay, I'm going to ask you the same questions.
Okay.
The first one is this: since you are running for office, the citizens, the voters, are going to want to know, what has Judge Williams done for us lately? Tell us what you've been up to the last few years being a circuit judge.
Well, since the beginning of this year, Judge Nicholas and I, who is the other circuit judge, have divided our dockets so that I handle all of the criminal cases, or virtually all of the criminal cases. So that means felony cases, jury trials. I handle all of the probation revocations and that kind of thing.
Well, let me ask a question of you, and I knew that you're handling most of the criminal trials. That's got to be a tough job, not that divorces and other civil cases aren't, but you're seeing murderers, rapists, child abusers, petty thieves. You're such a regal person. How do you handle the emotional stress of something like that?
It's difficult sometimes because these are real people, and especially when it involves children. When I was with the district attorney's office, that was my primary responsibility, was protecting children. And so I prosecuted serious felony actions against child victims, often sexual in nature. That's hard, but I think if you're committed to it, then it's something that you just do. So even though it can be difficult, I have developed, I think, an ability to go for it and just do what I need to do.
Well, I've watched you in action in court, and I've watched attorneys get a little emotional. I've seen their clients get a little out of balance, and you're somehow able to steer them back to the proceedings at hand. And that, I don't think that's, anybody could do that, because it gets a little wild in there sometimes, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but I think that's part of the role of a judge, is to be, in some ways, a peacemaker. So I have to maintain control of my courtroom. And in my personal life, I'm, sometimes quiet spoken, although I'm not shy, and I think people that know me would tell you that I'm not. But it's important to maintain control of the courtroom so that people can know that what their problems are, what their claims are or defenses are going to be heard. Because I take very much pride in the fact that I don't believe you will find anybody that would tell you that I don't give everybody a fair shake. And that's whether it's a husband or wife, or an insurance company, or someone who's been injured, the state, or an accused defendant, or the worker, or the compensation insurance company that may be at odds with them. I think that's probably the crux of being a good judge, is making sure that everyone has an opportunity to be heard and that they're treated fairly according to the law.
Makes sense. Now I'm going to move to my second question, and the good news is, as far as I know at this moment, no one has qualified to run against you, so there's a good chance you'll run unopposed. But if you'd be hypothetical with me for a minute, let's assume that you do have some competition, and I'm not trying to steal your campaign secrets. How will you run? Will you be going door to door, do direct mail? I mean, how do you, because a judge is a little different. How do you campaign?
Yeah. Well, I think there may be some limitations on me that I didn't have the first time around, because there are judicial canons that require that we abide by certain rules that other people don't have to abide by. For instance, it's not allowed for me to talk about any pending cases that I have. And sometimes the voters or just other people are curious about what are my thoughts about a given situation. And of course, I'm not allowed to, speculate about things like that. As far as a campaign strategy, what I would hope is that I can just get out there and meet the people again, some of them that I've tried to stay in touch with. Let them know how serious I am about this. I'm sincere about what I want to do in this job. When I was elected 5.5 years ago, I promised that I would be fair, and that's what I've done. And now I have some experience to back me up and help me to be, I think, even a better judge.
Well, let's fast forward. Let's say that you are reelected and you get 6 more years. What obviously you're going to try to build on what you started, but how do you see another 6 years under your guidance here at the courthouse? What's going to happen?
Well, I think one thing that I have certainly learned, and that is that you have to be inventive. We have some limitations on our funding. That's not a big secret. We also have some limitations on what our options are in dealing in particular with criminal cases because of prison overcrowding. Everybody has heard all about that. But that doesn't mean that we don't have ways, if we think about it hard enough, to try to change folks' behavior. For instance, I would say that most people are not going to have any dealings with my courtroom, or at least they don't think that they do, because they won't be in the courtroom. They may come as a juror, and that sometimes can be very informative, and I think most people like it when they have an opportunity to serve. But if they think that what goes on in my courtroom doesn't affect them, then I'm afraid they're just wrong. For instance, if I have someone with a drug addiction, it's not only that person and their immediate family that's affected by that, but if we don't do something to try to either rehabilitate them, or in some instances the only choice we have is to put them somewhere where they can't be a pain and a bother and pose a threat to the rest of the community, then I'm not doing my job. Because when someone is insistent that they're not going to follow the rules, not going to obey just basic laws, then it's like I said, it's them, they're lost, their children end up with a huge disadvantage in the world. Teachers are required then to do things that they're not supposed to have to do. Stores and businesses have losses as a result. People on the street are in danger of having someone run over them if they are under the influence and they shouldn't have been out and free and able to do that. And it's just a situation where I want very much to do all the things that the criminal justice system is supposed to do, and that is, it's not, it can be about punishment, and some people feel that that's what it should be about, and that's a factor to consider. But I think the more important thing is to conform the behavior and protect the public. My opportunity to do that is tremendous in the role that I have, and so it's my goal is to make sure that the people that in my community that I love are protected, and that they can live in a society and in a sweet little community like Cullman, safe and knowing that their children are safe.
That's a big goal.
It is a big goal, and I think you have to do it step at a time. But it's not. But just because it's a daunting task is not a reason not to try. And so even if we have to do it one person at a time, we're going to try, and we're going to be successful as much as we can.
Judge, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.